The stripper pole. Let us get into this one. Let us talk about the stripper pole and connect some dots and show you guys that a lot of things that we do in this reality is taken from the spiritual realm, right? And the stripper pole is one of them. Now, I know when you read history, history will give another detail, and some of you will argue and says, no, it's not talking about a stripper pole, it's talking about a tree and whatever. You see the difference with me and everyone else. I don't rely mainly on the history books. I got connections in the spiritual realm, so I don't have to rely on these books. I can look on historical information, and I can fill the pieces in. I can say if it's 100%, 5% or 10% truth. Thanks be to the Most High, right? Now, when it comes down to the stripper pole, that is sending worship to this creature known as Ashtoreth. Now, what makes all of this interesting is if you read the Old Testament, you will see a very sad and recurring story where Israel keep falling. Each time they stop the idol worship, Israel keep falling back. And you're wondering, what is it about idol worship that excites Israel? What is it that keeps them going back? Is it witchcraft? What's going on? Right? Now this creature known as Ashtoreth, who is also Oshun, who is also the queen of the coast, the queen of heaven, right? Ashtoreth, this creature, whatever name the pervert goes by, worshipping this creature, she had a stripper pole in front of her altar. A stripper pole where women would do exactly what they are doing in today's time on this pole. And then Israel will gather around and get excited to see this thing. This thing was exciting. That was just to entice them, to make them feel comfortable in child sacrifice and taking part in debauchery, right? It is a stripper pole that she used to excite and to draw in. So nothing new under the sun, right? Nothing new under the sun. When you have this thing known as a stripper pole, and you go to these bars and these gentlemen club, understand it is worship. It is worship. You are worshiping this creature, right? And I see where they take time to place this thing into society, to legitimize it, to make it feel like it is decent, it is okay. There are people out here using the stripper pole and saying that, oh, it's for exercise. It doesn't matter what you use it for or what you call it for. The purpose of it is to give worship to Ashtoreth. That is the purpose of it. It is to help draw in Israelites, for them to feel comfortable, fascinated by what they're seeing. Right? So they will be able to relax, and the medicine will go down a bit easy. The medicine of child sacrifice, the medicine of sexual debauchery will go down a bit easy when these women who are swinging from these poles in front of her altar in ancient Egypt. Right? That is what that's about. So when you have people saying, oh, I'm using it for exercise, that's what I'm using it for. No, it's a worship, and they are collecting entities. They are opening themselves up for entities. And you have women who are using stripper pole and have their sons around. Their sons are collecting entities. Don't be surprised later on your son come on in and tell you that he feels like a woman. Don't be surprised. Because that is what this creature, Ashtoreth, that is what she's a part of. Debauchery. This is a nasty, evil, disgusting creature. Ashtoreth, Oshun, queen of the coast, queen of heaven, queen of witches. She is a wicked, crafty demon, or whatever name the pervert goes by. And I know this creature personally. Met this creature too many times. right? So worshiping this creature, she have her altar in ancient Egypt, and then the stripper poles in front of her altars, where these women would go up and down the poles to fascinate ancient Israelites, and to help bring them in, right? Because you got to bring them in and soften the blow and get them comfortable. That is how it's very hypnotic. That is how they get ancient Israel to constantly, right, fall into pagan worship, right? It is because of this creature known as Ashtoreth, and she's mentioned in the Bible, and our worship is the stripper pole. Don't be fooled. Nothing new under the sun. Believe that. If there is nothing that you believe from that contaminated Bible, believe there is nothing new under the sun. It has all been done before. And everything that we do in today's world is learned behavior coming from the other side. And that is what I'm an expert on. The other side. Right? People understand we wrestle not with flesh and blood. This is a real spiritual war. This is real. And I know a lot of you go to the strip club because you're fascinated. It's exciting. I'm not harming anyone. But I'm here to tell you, it's worship. It is worship, and it was used in ancient times. That was what was used to hypnotize ancient Israel. That was a tool. They didn't just come out and tell them, oh, bring your children to be sacrificed. They didn't come out and tell them, oh, you need to be temple prostitutes. They didn't do it like that. It was very, very subtle. That is how they operate back then, and that is how they operate in today's time. So while these creatures were swinging from the pole, and ancient Israelites were there looking and feeling fascinated, and understand we wrestle not with flesh and blood. We need to pray and say, glory be to the Most High.